Hi there, everybody. Welcome to yet another Inner Circle webinar, the Cyber Circle from Heimdal. And we're welcoming here both customers, Heimdal users, as well as partners. So welcome, guys. I am joined by two of my colleagues today, and the third will arrive soon. So we have Marina, our pre-sales engineer, and Clelia, our head of customer success, a regional team lead of customer success. And we will be soon joined by Morten himself, our CEO. So in the meanwhile, guys, let us know, where are you connecting from? Let's see. Do we have our regulars in the meeting room already? Yes, we do have some of them. We have Kare joining from Denmark. How's the weather in Denmark? Is it still sunny? I heard it was sunny recently. We have John coming from Greece. John, you better tell us how's the weather in Greece. Over here it was rainy and it just came back. So sunny 16 degrees in Denmark. Per is joining us. Per is joining us and letting us know. So yeah, we'll just give everybody a few moments until we start. We still are waiting for a few people. Okay, almost a rainy day in Greece. So we're not envious of the weather in Greece. Yeah, over here in Romania, where we have the headquarters, it's sunny again. And we have Mr. Morten joining us. Hi, sir. We can't hear you yet, sir, but okay. So I believe Morten is setting up his system right now. Okay. So let's actually take one more second and begin. Mr. Morten, can you hear us? No, not yet. Okay. Ladies, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so let's kick it off. It's 1 minute past the hour. I'm sure that Mr. Morten can configure the setup until we get to the intro part. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to talk about some exciting product announcements, which we are actually very, very proud of here in Heimdal. The agenda for today will be super simple. We're going to look at the extended threat protection, the new Heimdal AV engine, and we're also going to understand how this has changed, right? What was the change in it? Then we're going to look at the newly released Threat Hunting and Action Center, the all-in-one pane of glass that will assist us in our day-to-day operations massively going forward. We're going to have a mystery segment presented by Clelia here, which is going to be a super surprise for everybody. We're going to also do a demo on both of the products. Last but not least, we're looking at the latest release so that you guys can understand exactly what Heimdal came out with, so that you can have all the information needed to maximize your input with the product, right? Your output, sorry. So some housekeeping rules. We have a Q&A section at the end, but please feel free to raise your questions along the way. We also have a raffle going on, a bonus for everybody that fills in the webinar post-webinar form with feedback and other items such as that. Or we will select one lucky winner and they will receive the prize, right? A Heimdal Home premium license. So with that being said, let's get to introducing our speakers today. So starting from the left side, we have our superstar pre-sales engineer. Marina, would you like to say a few words to everybody?
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you all for joining us. I'm one of the pre-sales engineers here at Heimdal, and it's actually a pleasure to be part of this webinar and to show you a little bit some extra details about our new portal. I can wait to do that.
Thank you, Marina. So we have also Clelia here joining us. Clelia, would you like to say a few?
Yeah, hi everyone. Yeah, as it was said before, I am the customer success team lead for the UK. Some of you may know me, some of you may not, but yeah, I'm very excited to be here and to be covering the mystery segment.
Thank you so much, Lilia. And last but not least in the list, we have our CEO, Mr. Morton.
Yeah, good to meet everybody. And sorry for I was struggling a little bit with the audio. Apparently, my headset wouldn't be accepted into GoToMeeting, so I had to live without it. But a pleasure meeting everybody, and grateful to be here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And right in the nick of time, we actually almost we're at the point to present you. Thank you so much. So guys, you know what we're going to talk about. You know exactly what's the agenda, who's speaking with you over here. You can get questions ready for each of us if you want. So let's get to the core of the matter, because we do have a lot to talk about and exciting changes that we want you all to know about. To start off, our team of malware analysts, right? Our researchers, you might also know the team as the ones that built the AI predictive DNS function, has been researching a lot lately, and they discovered three main issues when it comes to securing our endpoints, right? So these three main issues that they have discovered are the following: lack of much required telemetry. So basically, when you don't have visibility of something happening, you cannot take an action. Now, when that telemetry actually exists, there's also a big lack on the structure of it, right? So it's pretty close to impossible to analyze all that volume of data continuously. And last but not least, lack of personnel or knowledge, or a lack of time to train people into operating based on the items mentioned above, right? The required telemetry and the structure of that telemetry. And then you have the third factor, the human factor, that needs to come and operate and take an action based off of this. Now, in order to resolve these and cut the problems out of it and make sure that we are secured versus what's out there today, the Heimdal team has created the Extended Threat Protection Agent. This is a technology that supercharges the antivirus. And how does it work? How does it actually cover these 3 points and takes them from a minus to a plus? Well, basically, the Heimdal XTP technology collects telemetry from all the main items in the OS, right? Sysmon logs, events, processes, and also security logs. So looking at the computer holistically, it interprets what's happening on the computer at whole, taking intelligence from all these angles. Then, in order to structure it, it takes it through the MITRE ATT&CK framework. Then in order to make sure that everything is properly matched, we're taking it through over 1,400 Sigma rules. Sigma rules are basically practices that happen with malware. So people that have created the Sigma rules counter exactly the behavior that dangerous malware takes. And this is not just your average viruses and so on. And only after filtering through these two, we get to the final alert output, which is what comes to you in the end. And this is split under 5 categories. And Heimdal will tell you exactly which ones are just information and which ones are critical, so that you know exactly where to charge and where to attack first, right? Where to resolve first. And that's exactly what we wanted to achieve. Now, in order to put this technology on top of the current AV, we needed to do some changes, right? So the changes are as follows. The Heimdal antivirus with MDM, right? As you knew it so far, it was made out of the scanning agent and also the Heimdal technology on top, the Heimdal functional technology. For a scanning agent, we were using the Avira engine. It was a very good engine, it still is, but we needed something different so that we can pull this, this new advancement off. So in order to do this, what we did is we switched the scanning agent. Now we are using Microsoft Defender, the built-in version on the computer directly. And what we're doing is we're adding on top of the current technology that you already are familiar with as an AV user of Heimdal. And we're adding the extended threat protection technology, which contains all that data filtering that we've mentioned, as well as the forensic mapping of all of the detections that it is doing. Now, in a nutshell, what are the benefits of this particular change that we did? Well, if I am to just sum them up, this is a supercharged antivirus, now leveraging Microsoft Defender and also extended threat protection or advanced threat protection technology, as you might know it from the market. Next, it has the MITRE attack framework and the Sigma methodology, both of them built into it. It will detect even the most highly sophisticated things, such as lateral movement, credential harvesting, persistence tactics, and much more. All the tactics that advanced malware uses. And last but not least, this is my favorite. It comes at no extra cost for the users or for the partners that are selling this to users, because we did the change, and this way we don't need to make the cost bigger for the product. By the way, if anybody has any questions, please do use the chat. If any of my colleagues want to pitch in on this particular segment before we move to the threat hunting and action center, please feel free.
Yeah, happy to jump in, Andre, on this one and just give some slightly different views on it or different approaches from the customer. Well, I think first of all, the reason that we make this change is that the attack surface is of course getting more sophisticated. So it's a logical move for the customer to improve kind of the defensive posture. But then also we really want to take the fight to the competition on this one with a lot more sophistication on top of a regular next generation AV engine. So by doing it like you explained here, as you correctly state, we kind of add a lot more value to the customer at the same cost or no incremental cost. But then at the same time, you take the fight to competition in this level of the field, like CrowdStrike and SentinelOne, which are clearly the more sophisticated players in the area, or Microsoft ATP for that matter. So you are providing, or we're providing, an alternative to the customer who is on an E3 or E1, even though it's on an E5, to either roll back the E5, which is at a very high cost for the customer, and then choose a much more price relatively feasible solution than an E5 solution is, and then rolling out with the Heimdal suite instead. But clearly the E1 and E3 customers being the obvious choices here, that this is a very easy rollout for them. You literally just click a button and we turn it on, and you get, as you also said, it plugs into the rest of the suite, the DNS, it plugs into the PDM module, so you get all these sophisticated benefits as well across the line. And you're muted, Andre. Sounds like it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Perfect. We do have a question coming from Per. The question is, when it comes to licensing, what do we need to do? It's grayed out in my console. Well, Per, for this one, you just need to connect with your account manager at Heimdal and just let them know that you need that activated. That will do the trick. Yeah, just reiterate that. Of course, you need to have the AV module from us already, but as long as you have the AV module, this is a free upgrade basically to enhance the value. So yes, if you have the AV module, then you just reach out to your account manager and they can turn it on. Perfect. Thank you, sir. Okay, so we talked about the XTP, right, and what's changing with the AV. We will break this down further when we look at the release note. But going further, the second product that we like to introduce to you guys, a lot of you guys already know it, right? You've seen it in the previous workshops. However, this is right now in release candidate. It's called Threat Hunting and Action Center, and this what you see on the page is the actual interface to the to your portal, right? So when it comes to this, what was happening so far? So you know, Heimdal has the most robust suite of cybersecurity products out there right now, and all of them you are using something called the Unified Threat Platform, right? Somebody calls it the dashboard, somebody calls it the platform. So you were using this as a management point. Now, in order to make things faster and better, we have actually added this particular threat hunting tool, right? And forensics tool, which right now will take information from all of these products, right? As many as you have, it takes information from more of them. And when you want to do operations, you basically just look at one pane of glass. You have everything by risk level. And its main benefits, it basically deploys out of the box. So whenever you're using a SIEM or whenever you're using a SOAR tool, you will spend a lot of time with configuration, unfortunately. Now, something like this just deploys out of the box and starts doing the job for you. It's literally a single unified pane of glass right now. and it has the interactable threat visualizer. It centralizes all the data, and Intel goes through the MITRE ATT&CK framework, and of course it has everything pre-computed. So you have the exact actions that you need to take. Marina will show us in a few minutes, but you have exactly what actions you need to take for each of the detections that appear for you in your portal. And last but not least, it literally has its dedicated action and resolution center, which is something that we were noticing a lot missing in the industry, because data is data, but you also need to be able to quickly take action upon it. Now, in order to use this, ideally, you need to have, actually minimally, you need to have 3 products from Heimdal, 3 modules. And the main one would be the next-gen antivirus with the extended threat protection. And then 2 other modules. And this is priced per module because a lot of people will ask this question. Now, in order to see this, I would actually like to pass it up to Marina so that she can actually do a quick showcase of the product itself and show us exactly how you could use something like this. Marina, are you ready?
Yes, of course. And thank you for this beautiful presentation. Just allow me to take the share. I will also stop my camera because my screens are all over the place, and I think it's easier to actually follow them. But let me just see if I actually share it. Is it visible?
Yes, Marina, it is.
Perfect, perfect. I just wanted to be sure before starting. All right, perfect. Well, right here you can actually see that I'm already connected to one of my Heimdal dashboard accounts, and I actually I wanted to start the presentation, the demo, with the home view because I wanted to introduce you and to show you how easy it is to actually access this new portal. It's basically integrated into the same dashboard, so you can easily access it through this view, the Threat Hunting and Action Center. And there it is. Basically, right here, you can easily visualize your cyber threat and risk landscape in just a single view, either globally, or if you want to go into a specific region, you can just switch it to the map. But for the moment, because I would like to go through some examples with you, we can just access this current view. Before starting the demo, I want to present you, even though Andrew already went through these 2 visualizations, that we have right here, the threat telemetry visualizations and also the XTP MITRE ATT&CK visualizations. Let's start with the first one. Basically, this one is offering you information revolving around pre-calculated risk scores, and based on that, you can actually see on the left side view right here the top 5 endpoints with the highest risk score. And of course, you can also go into a specific one, but I'm not gonna do this just for the moment. The second view, the XTP visualization, is offering you information that's revolving around the number of alerts based on those over 400 Sigma rules that also my colleague mentioned previously. And of course, again, you can see displayed on the left side panel right here, the top 5 XTP MITRE alerts and also the events that are being categorized by the severity. Let's go back for the moment on the threat telemetry visualization, and I will start with some examples because we do have some endpoints that have a highest risk scores, so we can just take them one by one. Let's access for the moment this region. I think it's Romanian, if I'm not wrong. Yes. And in this specific case, I can take you can actually see that all the endpoints that are part of this country are displayed on the right side here. And I would like to take, for example, let's just say this Wanda machine and see exactly what's happening in it. Perfect. So once I'm going to click on it, you can actually see that we can easily follow these animated lines basically that are giving us information about the detection. So you can easily see from where the detections are coming. And of course, if you like to investigate further, right here we have details about the number of block domains, and also if we have any brute force attacks or antivirus infections are gonna be also displayed here. Since I would like to know what exactly is happening in the machine, I will just go, I can either access the machine through this view, or I can just click on it right here, or I can just click on these three dots and click on the threat telemetry details. And let's see what this tag view is offering us. You will have again the endpoint score and the device info. And if I'm gonna scroll down just a little bit, you can also see the risk chart. This basically will provide each user a spider diagram, as I have it here, with score details per products, like risk score and top detection. Well, in our case, in my case, actually, in this one, the machine, the detections are coming from the third-party updates. And of course, I can just easily click on a specific detection, and I will have the top 5 detections displayed on the right side here. I would also like to further investigate these detections, so I can just easily click on the investigate view. And let's see what is happening. Well, usually when you can actually see the latest status for each software, and when we have machines, actually softwares in a red color, as you can see in my examples, it means that some patches are missing from this specific machine. And a great thing with this tag portal, as Andre also told you, is the fact that we are going to give you the possibility to actually apply specific actions directly through this portal. And how you can do that, let me just scroll up a little bit. You have some action buttons displayed up here that will of course give you the possibility, well, in our case, to install a patch directly from here. And of course you can select the application, just confirm it, and that will be all, and it's going to save you lots of time. Well, I'm just gonna go back to the main view, to the threat hunting and action center, and let's take the second example. I think we started with this one, but let's take the highest risk score, this sales demo tool, and let me just click on it.
Perfect. While you do that, just reminding everybody that in case you have questions, please feel free to reach out along the way.
Perfect. Thank you, Andre. Good. So again, when I'm gonna click on this sales demo 2, we are able to see the detections, the details, the block domains, but I'm also interested to go deeper. So I will this time click on it right here and see exactly what's happening in this virtual machine actually. This is one of the virtual machines that we are regularly using in our demos in the pre-sales department for the ransomware demonstration. So meaning we are detonating ransomware so we can present how our ransomware encryption module works. So that's the reason why if you look right here in the risk chart, all the detections are coming from the ransomware encryption protection module. Let's just click on them. And is the same ransomware that we are usually detonating. And if we are going into the investigate view, you can actually see our tests that some of them are blocked, some of them are detected, because of course, this really depends on each demo. Good, let me just go back in the same view, because I would like to take just one more example before going into the action center. And let's take this one. I think this one is the next one that has the highest score, which is actually a Windows 7 machine. Let's see what's happening here. Again, once I'm clicking on it, you can easily follow the animated lines and see exactly what it's blocked in this machine, but I would like to again investigate further. So let's go in the threat telemetry details and let's check the risk chart one more time. Good. Well, it seems that over here the detections are coming from the Windows updates. Let's see exactly what's happening. We have the top detections on the right side, and let's click on the investigate view. All right, perfect. So if we're checking the main three views, the installed, pending, and available ones, you can actually see that there is nothing unusual here. But if we go on the last view, the compliance view, we actually introduced recently, we added the Cyber Essentials compliance norms to this compliance view, and you can easily access it by going into this drop down and selecting the Cyber Essentials view. Basically, this view is going to display all the machines that do not have any Windows updates available or pending. And actually, you can also see that the dashboard gives us the information. So it's not Cyber Essentials compliant because the build number is actually has reached the end of life. And also the available updates are older than 14 days. And again, based on these detections, you can either apply a specific action of, you can isolate the machine, you can scan it, or of course, any other thing. Let's just go back to the threat hunting and action center because we went to the threat telemetry visualization, but I will also want to go with you through the XTP view. And let's see what we have here. As I told you, there is the top 5 Mitra alerts categories right here, and you can also see the events. I would like to just, let's display the events and see exactly what's happening here. We have the standard view with the XTP module, the engine that actually hunt the threats in this portal. And let's take a machine that has a high severity. Let's say this one, for example, and check what's happening here. Good, right here you can see the alerts that are displayed at the beginning. When a new alert is generated, you can see actually that it comes with this unresolved resolution. But as my colleague said, you can always apply a specific action. You can resolve it directly from the dashboard. Either you can click on this unresolved and resolve the detection, or you can just easily select a rule and then click on this drop down and choose whatever you would like to do further with it. And of course, the most important thing, since we are already in this machine, let's see the number of alerts by clicking here. And we also have the action center, so it's good that we can also access it. It seems that it has 16 alerts in this specific moment. Let's see exactly what's happening here. Good. So again, we can check the details for each alert, and we can also see the severity. If I'm going to click here, we can actually see that there are some that are critical. So if I would like to remediate any of these 2 alerts, the dashboard is going to give me the possibility to actually apply an action and remediate this detection directly from the portal. And how can I do that? By just selecting the alert and just choosing the action directly from here. In this specific case, we can just isolate the endpoint and of course check internally what's happening, or of course depending on each company, you can choose the action that you will like. And I think that would be all from my side, but please let me know if I would like it to actually ask my colleagues first if I forgot to mention something, or if they would like to add something to my presentation.
Sir, would you like to do that?
Yeah, I need to find the unmute button, just like you, Andre. Yeah, if you could leave it on here, Marina, I do like to talk the crowd through a couple of things. First of all, if we jump back to the license discussion, start with E3, E5, E1, E3, E5 for Microsoft, and kind of how strategically this fits into that decision. I think a lot of customers need to be aware that E5 is, again, I'll just call it out, very expensive. And everything from Microsoft comes at an incremental cost. The next logical step on top of E5 would, of course, be the Sentinel product, which delivers you some similar functionalities to the Heimdal tag portal, but nothing close to as powerful. So if I start with that discussion first, moving from E3 to E5 gives you kind of incrementally the ATP product from Microsoft, which in this example is the XTP engine that Marina showed the view from before. If you notice that view, and if you could pull it up again, Marina, I'll get back to the Action Center piece. So this view here, and we'll come back to it in a second, but the XTP view in the endpoint details will give you kind of similar capabilities to ATP from Microsoft from a detection standpoint, or SentinelOne or CrowdStrike for that matter, where you have these highly sophisticated detection capabilities. Just take the one there on the right, Marina, the top one. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter which one. And then you go into the XTP details directly. So just from this standpoint, I just think it's important that people understand the comparable technology that you're getting at a much lower incremental cost. As Marina showed before from here, you can't action anything. And if you click any of these on the left, you can of course resolve them, or you can investigate them manually, just like you could with any other product, basically. So with any other product where you get these type of alerts, you'll have to have somebody monitoring them and then investigating them manually. In the dashboard here, we can give you an immense amount of data if you want to go investigate, because you have the patching, you have the firewall, you have the DNS telemetry, you have the privileges. All of the modules are there to help you provide additional telemetry to these detections. So that's of course a big benefit as opposed to other products in the market. We also can show you the process tree and everything else around these processes that are spawning if you want to go to a very sophisticated level of detail, including what IPs they're connected to, etc. The reason I'm calling that out like for like against the Microsoft stack is that's just a strategic choice that customers need to make. But then of course calling out all the, and here you have the process tree, except there's no tree on this one, but there will be on so many others, so that doesn't really matter. But the point of the matter is just that if you need to choose your strategy, this will of course be a big point that you need to figure out what to do for how you spend your money. Then if you get to the comparable benefits piece, and if you load up the front page, Marina, again, yeah, exactly the front page there. Then I just want to call out for everybody and make it painfully abundant and aware for everybody that that what you get here in addition to anything else on the market is first of all, I think it's very nice looking. So it looks super attractive from a visual appeal. That's of course one thing. People who also buy Teslas and BMWs and Bugattis and whatever because they look nice, Ferraris for that matter, whatever preference of brand you have. That's one thing. But then the functionality here is, I personally drive a BMW myself. I like it because it's super stable. I think I could easily compare this to BMW in the sense that the overall overview you get from this portal is phenomenal. You won't find anything like it in the market. Again, I can call out the Azure Sentinel comparison, but for those who've used Azure Sentinel will know, or another SIEM platform for that matter. Yes, you can plug all the data in there. First of all, that will take you time to get all of that set up and get that working. Here we can turn it on today and it will be working tomorrow. You don't need to do anything. It will actually be working in 2 minutes if we turn it on, but it will start getting the statistics and then show them tomorrow. It's just a phenomenal build of technology, first of all. But then the amount of data you're getting in a portal like this, I had a partner in the UK very graciously explaining back to me my own product last week, saying, this is much better than Darktrace because it not only shows me the network telemetry, which of course we can show you based on the DNS and the firewall. We didn't show you a firewall example here, but we could probably find one. The firewall lines will show up as white and the DNS lines will show up as red. And as Marina shows here, the visualization of the connectivity of an endpoint or anything in your infrastructure is incredibly strong, just like you get from a Darktrace product. But then incrementally to that, you get all these other modules, patch management, firewall management. You get the whole PDM piece connecting into it, the ransomware module, the AV, all the telemetry is just here in one place. It's automatically then computed for you where you need to focus, which is completely unparalleled in the market. So by showing you these scores, it automatically tells the SecOps operator where he needs to work from. That should be mind-blowing for most. And then in the action center piece, just differentiating that from the XTP engine so it's clear for everybody, the action center allows you to action everything, not just investigate, because it will propose you the actions you need to take off the back of these detections that we're making. And as you can see here, it's integrated with all the modules. So depending on the type, before the one Marina showed before was isolate, but here you can see it's added to the application control product or connect to the device. So the proposal will be based on the type of alert we're seeing and how you best remediate it most quickly, you can say as well, which allows you to move at a completely different pace of SecOp operation compared to what you will anywhere else, because you don't need to analyze it. In fact, we will propose you the right action based on all the data we already computed for you, rather than you having to go gather all the data and then analyze it and then do the action in a different portal. It's all just interconnected here. So I just think that's really important for people to call out who are considering licensing options, tying it all the way back to the licensing. Not only is this comparably a lot cheaper than other solutions in the market, but it's more sophisticated and will deliver you a lot more interconnected technology in one place. I think I rambled on long enough about that now, Marina. Thank you for walking us around once more.
Sure.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Marina. I'll steal the screen sharing from you.
Please.
Just a second. Okay. So everybody should be seeing my screen in just a few seconds. Again, please feel free to raise your questions. We do have one asking, when will this new interface be available for partners? It's already in release candidate. If you need some directions how to get there, just let me know after the meeting, after the webinar, and I can send a few ideas. Okay, so back to the presentation. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce the next guest speaker, which will handle the mystery segment. So Clelia, could you take the mystery segment for everybody?
Yes, and I think it works perfectly to segue from what Morten was saying, of how the solution is a lot cheaper than what is available on the market. And not only is it cheaper, but in this mystery segment, I'm just going to cover a very exciting early adopter promotion that we've decided to do for this quarter for our customers, as you can see from the slide, who have signed a long-term partnership with us. We have this with this little promotion if they want to add the threat hunting and action center to their suite, and it depends on which month. Obviously, they will be taking this on, but if they are very, very early adopters in April, they will receive a whopping 50% discount. And then in May, it will go down slightly to 40%, and then June, 35%. And there are just a couple of conditions that I want to bring to your attention. As you can see, it will require, as we've said, that you already have our next-gen antivirus and 2 additional modules, which doesn't include remote desktop. And the customer or the partner will need to be, or the customer through the partner will need to have an existing 3-year contract, or would be willing to upgrade to a 3+ year contract. And this is where it gets even more exciting. If any additional modules are required, for example, the next-gen AV, or if you want to take on any other modules along with the TAC module, you can leverage these same discounts. We will match these discounts above, depending on which month the promotion is applied to. And again, so just to cover, is 50% off for April, 40% for May, and 35% for June. So I think this is an incredible opportunity. If you've thought about adding some more modules, it really is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Not sure when another one will happen again. So yeah, if this was of interest, I would suggest getting in touch with your customer success manager, your CAM. But yeah, this is the promotion, the mystery promotion.
Thank you, Clelia. Guys, just to underline, this is a 50% discount if you do it in April, 40% in May, 35% in June. But the nice part is actually that if you are buying into other modules right now, we have Mr. Morton smiling over there, you basically get a great discount on all of them. So that's why we wanted to share this this mystery segment with everybody. Mr. Morton, would you like to say a few words, or should I continue to the release note?
Yeah, I just like to call out to everybody that, of course, we're further enhancing the portal and other enhancements are coming up. One of the key ones for the summertime, late summertime, is the ability to also track cloud logins. So where users are basically logging in from on their Azure AD will also be a capability later this year within the portal, which is something a lot of you have asked for. So really looking forward to bringing that one out. But then we're working on a range of optimizations already to the product as well. We do want to continue having it looking like a Tesla or a Lamborghini, whatever car preference brand you might have. So yeah, we're definitely pushing forward that. But I think already now it is really a phenomenal product, even in the first version. And as Andre said, it is available in the release candidate now for everybody. So the only thing you need to do is get it activated by your CS person, and then you can start working inside the platform.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So before we move to the next point of discussion, which is the current release note, I do want to let everybody know that you have two resources that you can download from the handouts section. This is the data sheet for the next-gen antivirus with XTP, as well as for the threat hunting and action center. So without further ado, let's also look at the all the items have been released in 3.5.0 or 3.5.1, and I got to let everybody know it's we have a lot of things released, a lot of exciting stuff. So let's begin. Threat Hunting and Action Center, as we discussed today, has been released. It needs to have at least 3 modules from Heimdal, one of which needs to be the next-gen antivirus with the XTP. The pricing is per module, so if you just have 3 modules, you get a lower price than somebody that would have 10 modules. So it needs to be fair for everybody. Moving along, we have the next-gen antivirus, and over here we have quite a few items to mention to you guys. First of all, the new technology release, right? This will happen automatically on your sites. You don't need to worry about anything. Now, we also have an enhancement that has been done to the basic detection engine, not just to the extended threat protection engine. Then we have a feature that has been requested for a while now. You all know that so far you could block USBs with Heimdal, right? But you would block them or allow them. That were the only 2 options, right? Now you can actually whitelist certain USBs based on class ID or hardware ID. By the way, if you have any questions and details about anything that you hear right now, the Q&A webinar is coming up in 2 days. So just let us know and we can literally walk through the sessions, through the features in the session with you. Now, the next item in the Zero Trust Execution Protection across all the products that have this technology, and again, there are 3 products, PEDM, Application Control, and Antivirus. We have added the ability to add a friendly nickname to processes so that you know exactly and don't get confused about very cryptic process names like the example that's on the screen right now. Next, let's see the next product that we have, the Unified Threat Platform. Over here we have the new logo that you will notice both in the agent and in the platform. We have improved the logout, the inactivity timer. Basically, whenever it logs you out, now it will tell you that you have been logged out. I know that a lot of people like this feature, but it's mandatory for the security. And whenever it comes to group policy management, so far in the Windows group policies, you were able to just copy paste an action that you were doing in one policy and affect all of them. Now, what happened is we've added this capacity, this capability for all the other OS types like Android, Unix, Linux, and Mac OS. Now, further down the line, we have the next product, which is the vulnerability patch and asset management. Over here, we have the Cyber Essentials connector, like Marina just spoiled the surprise earlier when we showed you the tag portal and the detections. We now can show you which computers are compliant by Cyber Essentials. And for anybody that wonders what Cyber Essentials, this is the national framework for UK security. Now, this can help other people from other regions as well, right? Because it's just the compliance that you check. So this is an out-of-the-box checker right now for both third-party software as well as OS. When it comes to updates that are still in progress or had any errors, you now have a special view to view both error updates, updates that had an error, as well as toggle the view to something that's called pending reboot updates. So you can clearly see which updates are pending reboots. Now I have something that the next one is something that's everybody requested for a while now. When it comes to Heimdal, you know that we hyper automate the patching. That's the purpose with the Heimdal product. Now, some people wanted the ability to take out one update only from this process. So that's why right now you have the update exclusion function, which allows you to ban an update based on KB number or update name, which is super easy to do. And last but not least, in the patching segment, we have some user interface and user experience improvements, such as whenever you are looking at updates per endpoint, it was basically a separate view from the installed view under the OS updates. Now, since both of them tackle the same thing, right, it has been moved under the installed view so that it's easier for you to navigate to it. And when it comes to both OS and third party, you have the CVSS scoring by colors right now. And again, if you want to see this in more detail, join us in 2 days and ask us any question that you might have. Next, to look at another product, we will be looking at ransomware encryption detection. This one had the friendly name added to it as well. And now you can actually name the apps that you are whitelisting or in the solution itself. Looking at PEDM, Privilege Elevation and Delegation Management. Now, whenever you have both the DNS product, Threat Prevention Endpoint, and you also have the PEDM product, you know you can integrate them, right, for security purposes. So whenever one product detects something dangerous, it tells the other product to de-elevate or to deny elevation. So now this has been added with clear statuses in case any reactions like this happen. And access control, basically now when you have multiple Heimdal operators, you can actually design which operator to get rights to approve or deny admin requests coming from which groups you want. So this has become very granular when it comes to who has the right to take action on these. Now, moving further, we have application control. And over here, we have a bunch of new things, super interesting. The ability to apply the default action, which is allow or block, right, with application control, to scripts as well. So far, it was not catching, it was not looking at scripts, but we've received this feedback and we've built it in. So now the default action will apply also to scripts. Now, when it comes to spawns, which a spawn is an application that gets created from another application that sits above as a parent. When it comes to spawns, now scripts can spawn as well, which was not possible so far. And you can also spawn on a multiple level. So parent one creates child one creates another child, and so on and so forth, right? Now, whenever this happens, you will have something called the ancestor process tree, so that you understand exactly which was the one that started the chain. So all of these three abilities have been added in application control. Next, still in application control, whenever you are doing a rule, you now have the option to do it by certificate subject, the title of the certificate itself. So far, you were using the ID of the certificate. When it comes to navigation, when you're looking at one computer only, you can now have a search box to go and find exactly the process that you're looking for. So far, you would need to just download the list or go manually through the list and scroll down or navigate to the date that you wanted. And as mentioned with the others, a friendly name option has been added in the table. So you can tell us exactly, register, record exactly how this is called. So you don't look at codes, weird codes and digits and numbers like you have on the example on the screen. Moving further, we have the threat prevention endpoint, in which we have increased the API capacity. It will now deliver also status information. So who's using the API for reporting, for ticketing systems, for multiple integrations, know that you now have this availability in the API. And last but not least, email security. We have added the another option under the attachment settings, which means whenever something comes attached to an email, you have the options to do a few things. Now, when it comes to applications with multiple extensions, we now have a default action that you guys can take on that. When it comes to the personal quarantine report, people that are using the email solution from Heimdal already know too well that you get a list of all the blocked items, right? And if the administrator allows it, if authorized, you can preview, you can release, and now you can also add this particular sender to your approved list. Again, this is only based on IT authorization before fact. And last but not least, on this particular list of improvements, you can now add a subdomain to your whitelist or blacklist. And I just want to let you guys know that when it comes to going into these, if you don't want to do it alone, you can just connect with me and Marina in 2 days, and we are doing the Ask the Heimdal Pros webinar. So send us your questions and we can navigate through them together. The next webinar publicly is going to take place on 4th of May. This is an open webinar for everybody to join. And we're going to talk about advanced malware. We're going to look at the products that we've seen today, and we're going to use live malware and see exactly how this triggers and what do we need to learn from each of them. And now, perfectly on time, which is a surprise, we get to the Q&A side. So let's see what questions do we have from the audience. Okay, we have Mike saying that he does need details on how to assess the release candidate. And Mike, we can connect and take care of that. Okay, anybody else?
Not today, looks like 100, which is a little bit unusual, but
it's a funny change of a scenery, right? It's not right, sir. We do have somebody asking, current pricing from Brigantia does not offer multi-year contract. Alf, you can connect with Alan and talk to him and see exactly how to get that covered. But I believe it can offer, so don't worry about it. Okay, we have Per asking us, portal speed is slow when editing policing, example like patching. Okay, have you noticed that on a regular basis or just a one-off? Yes, on a regular basis. Yep. So sometimes when you load so many settings, like in the Heimdal portal, which have a lot of open fields to read, sometimes it can get a bit slower. But thank you for the feedback. We will share it with the development team. Mr. Morton, do you have any suggestion, or Marina, do you have any suggestion on that?
no, I was actually just going in there now on one of the demo accounts just to see. But yeah, I think your point is right, Andre. If you just raise it up with Stefan, we'll have that double checked in terms of the load time of the group policies.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing that feedback, Per, and we will check that internally and get back to you. We have Joseph asking us, is this also to be considered a complete PAM solution? Sir, would you like to take that or should I?
Yeah, I can definitely take that. So on the PDM offering that we have, that is exactly what it is inside the PAM space. So inside the PAM space, you'll have 2 segments, PDM, which is privilege elevation and delegation management. And then there's which is typically for desktop rights, both on servers and endpoints. And then you'll have the other side of it, which is the PNSM, which is basically privilege account and session management, which is typically to create just-in-time users for servers and launching server sessions where there is no administrator on those servers beforehand, which is of course kind of optimal security standard for server environment. and then recording those sessions as they launch, and then removing the admin account as they end after the session. That's not a product we feature today, so we only have the PDM side of it, which of course is integrated to the rest of the suite. But the PA and SM is something we have in the launch pipeline for later this year. So it is something that will be coming out, which will then make it a what you would call a complete PAM product in reality as well. I hope that was a detailed enough explanation.
Thank you, sir. And we will ask Joseph to just let us know if that covered the response. So while Joseph is actually letting us know if that covered the response, we have somebody asking, are we planning on adding a full detailed status on how many items and what files have been scanned during an antivirus scan, a full scan, for example?
That must be in the dashboard because that's already available on the endpoint side. It does provide a summary of the scan when it's done. Well, I can ask the question the other way around. Why would you know how many files it's scanned? Is that really relevant? I'm assuming it's really much more relevant to figure out which ones were infected, not how many were scanned. Because if you set it for a full scan, we scan all of them. But yeah, open question as to why that's relevant then.
Yeah, and I'm also sharing, right? In case anybody wants to get here, it's products, endpoint detection, antivirus, and then the scan history. And you can see computers and you can see their latest scans, right?
And
So
I mean, to be clear, it's not hard for us to get the data in here, but we're also trying not to clog the dashboard with unnecessary information. So yeah, that's just why I'm asking what is the benefit basically for having the data in the dashboard.
Okay, Chris, you asked the question, would you have certain benefits that you were looking for with this particular option? Let us know in the chat. Anybody else asking questions? Somebody asking about the pricing of TAC. Well, again, the pricing of TAC is per module. So for example, if you have 5 Heimdal modules, and sir, please correct me if I'm wrong, if you have 5 Heimdal modules, you will have a certain price. If you have just 3 of them, like the minimum, you have a lower price. Am I right, sir?
Yeah, that's correct. And roughly people should probably expect that it's about, for small customers, about, I think it's €8 per module that you have. Comparably, just so people are aware, Sentinel and other SIEM solutions are typically consumption based, but it typically for comparable purposes run into about the double of what we're charging when you plug all your stuff into it on a consumption basis. Azure Sentinel can run into as much as 4 times what we're charging on the TAC portal. So just be aware that consumption may look very cheap, but when you plug all your gigabytes of data into it, it's a lot of money in reality.
Thank you, sir. We have Joseph asking again if we can summarize the PAM question. I'll do that, sir. So basically, Joseph, PAM is split into two areas: elevating rights, giving the permission to have rights, and also allowing sessions, right? Access sessions. So we handle the first part of PAM, which is elevation and delegation of rights. Because that is the most demanded in our space so far. So if you want to connect after the meeting, all of you might know about now, we have an option in the post-webinar feedback form, which I do urge you to fill in, because you also get the chance to win a Heimdal home license. You have an option to book a meeting with me or to ask me to set up a meeting with your customer service manager, customer success manager, and we also have the channel account managers available for partners, right? So just let me know in the post webinar feedback form, and we can set up. So let's see, we have just a few minutes left. Any final questions that you guys want to ask? Okay, if not, I have a question for you guys. So I am launching a poll, and I want to ask you a question to see what is your opinion. So the poll says something like this: do you think using the Heimdal XTP and Threat Hunting and Action Center would simplify your operations? And basically it's, yes, this will make my life easier. Maybe I need to learn a few more about it. And no, we are okay with what we use right now from a time perspective. Okay, so I'll just give people a few moments to vote in. I'm super curious about the votes. Okay. Somebody's asking, where did we get the model from our new logo? That's interesting. We can tell you the story offline about it. Okay, so let's close the voting and let's share with everybody. So this is just because we wanted to see exactly how people do, what impression do people have at the first glance to this, and if they actually think that this is something that they can leverage to make their days easier, right? Their lives easier when it comes to operations. So we do have 52% saying that this will make their life easier, which is exactly what we were aiming for. 43% saying that maybe I need to learn some more about it, and that's why we're here. We'll make sure that happens. And 5% already have a very good setup and they don't think that they need to use something like this. But still, in case you guys want to test this out, just let us know and we can make that happen. Now, asking my esteemed colleagues, is there any final note that you want to share with our audience before we close today's session?
No, that's super walkthrough, Andre. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies?
From my side too, Andre.
Yeah, all good.
Glad to hear that. It was a pleasure having you, having my colleagues here, and also a pleasure having you guys here. Thank you so much. And please don't forget, share that post-webinar feedback form. It is of great help for me to make these sessions better for you. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.